Colleagues, with the interest of time, we've got only one session left, which is next week. And I don't know whether we're gonna finish that session or we're gonna need to extend. Vutali, from where I see it, I don't think we'll finish off next week. We just might have to see how far we went. We probably gonna need an extension. I will update you, and we'll just need to check because colleagues need to do what they need to do without even rushing through other activities. With that being said, good morning, colleagues. Are you all well and good, ready for today's session?
Oh, yes, we are. We are well and well to start.
Okay, Mr. Howard,
I'm having network issues though, so I might be disconnected and try to reconnect again. Yeah.
Okay, noted, sir. If we can recap, last week's session, we did activity number 5 and 6, or we did activity number 5 only?
It was 5 only.
Okay. You want to summarize for recapping this morning, or must we just go through the session? Did you complete the activity? Mr. Mark, was this activity completed in your portfolios of evidence?
Yeah, we completed the portfolio file, formative activity 5, and we just need to do the recap, I think, and we are to start on formative activity 6, managing costs today.
Okay. Colleagues, this morning, let us look at the financial instruments of the project planning. These are the instruments that are very crucial when you are doing your project planning and as you are initiating in your project. So summarizing this activity, it will be questions. Maybe if you need seeking clarifying questions, you'll just have to ask me, and then maybe we clarify in the session. And then, yeah, in any project, you'll be confronted with financial instruments that you need to be aware of. Sometimes you have borrowed some finances somewhere else. There will be some interest that will be charged, and so you need to be mindful as a project manager. Or you may want to invest somewhere in that project, within that project. So you should be aware of what are the repercussions and what are the gains and. So the interest is not the cost of using someone else's money. It is the money you pay on top of an original sum of money you borrowed. This is from the borrower's perspective. If you are an investor who has money to save, interest is what you receive for allowing someone else to use your money for a time. There will be a simple interest where we look at an annual simple interest is calculated by multiplying the amount by the interest rate given by the bank or financial institution. So as a project manager, you may want to borrow money to complete certain project, or some investor there giving you money, and they will be telling you that they will be charging you some simple interest on that. And there will be things like you need to be mindful of, such as a compound interest. Compound interest is an interest on interest. What it means is that when you invest or borrow money and you do not take or pay interest at the end of the period, the initial amount invested or borrowed will still earn interest in the second year plus. the first year's interest will earn interest in the second year as well. So just be mindful of that. And I thought I should put this financial instruments as well. Suppose you borrow 100 rands for 3 years at an interest rate of 10% per annual. The interest paid will be as follows. So the first year you'll pay 10 rands, you calculate it 100 times 10%. There will be a 10 rands there, second year, etc., etc. That will be an example of what I was talking about from the previous slide. Suppose you borrow 100 rands for 3 years. Still, 3 years at an interest rate of 10% will be calculated as follows. First year, 100 times 10% is equals to 10. Then you add 2 years there. The amount at the end of the period, 1 plus 2. So first year and the second year, you add them together. Okay, those are the examples that are in your study guide. You may want to go through them. Also in the financial instruments, we look at the cost, and the cost can be defined as the cash amount or the cash equivalent given up for an asset. Cost includes all costs necessary to get an asset in place and ready for use. This is in your study guide, the examples, types of cost, and their explanations there. There's a direct type of a cost. There's an indirect type of a cost. There's a fixed type of a cost. There are variable type of a cost. There are marginal type of a cost. In any project, there will be direct and indirect cost. Now, let me just try and pick a brain on you this morning while we are in this session of cost. I'll give you the indirect cost in a project. And the other one won't be a direct cost. And you need to tell me, anyone can tell me, which is the indirect cost in what I'm going to list. So in any project, I'm just picking up your brain here this morning, just to make our session valuable. There's a direct cost, there's an indirect cost. So I will leave the errors. So in this example that I'm going to give you, I'm just saying, I'm giving you examples of the indirect cost, but you need to tell me which one is not the indirect cost in what I'm going to list. One is insurance, one is rent, one is machinery and supply, and one is, okay, the ones that I've picked, which ones are which one is not the indirect cost in a project?
Machinery and supply.
Sorry?
Machinery and supply. That's a direct cost, isn't it?
Okay. Absolutely. Absolutely. Spot on. Spot on. Spot on. Do you understand, colleagues? That's the exactly answer that I was looking for, and that is a correct answer, sir. Machine and supply. It is. Okay, let us move on. And while you are looking at financial instruments, there's a revenue, and we need to know what is revenue all about. The revenue is the total money money, I think they're supposed to say, this is the total money your company has earned based on your accounting standards, which vary by company and industry. Revenue does not factor in cost. If you change a customer's $100,000, that project's revenue contribution is $100,000. You may higher revenue referred to as a top line figure because the revenue gets displayed first on your company's income statement. How to calculate a profit? You initiate a project to make money, but that can differ from institution by institution. Sometimes you're doing a project to correct certain things in an organization. You will initiate a project. And in the public sector, you will initiate a project because it started as a program from the national office to a provincial office and the local government. Then that's when they will initiate this project, not to make money, but to do service delivery issues. That amount you have after deducting all the costs of running the project is profit. So there, in the public sector, there's no profit when we are doing projects. But in private sector, you may want to do a project to have a financial gains on that project. You are not going to start a project if you are not, you are going to lose money doing it. The cost control is then essential to make sure that you make the money you projected. Remember, the project sponsor is not going to give you money so that you can make a large profit. That's the bottom line there. See and make use of examples in your study guide from page 51 and 52. That's where you will see those examples of the financial calculations, how the financial costs are being calculated and the profit is being calculated. Okay, any questions there? While we're still at it, let us look at the economic activity. Economic activity is the activity of making and providing, purchasing or selling goods or services. Any action that involves producing, distributing or consuming products or services is an economic activity. There are many different activities that lead to a production of goods and services are grouped into three broader category: primary industry, secondary industry, and tertiary industry. Recently, a fourth category has been added, namely a quaternary industry, which includes high-tech industry using computers and microelectronic, particularly those producing information. And while we still at it, there will be economic activities progress in a large way. Periods of rising production are followed by a leveling off or fall in production. This periodic inflection in economic activity are called business cycles. The business cycle is the periodic but irregular up and down movement in an economic activity, measured by inflation, and in real gross domestic product, as we know, well known as GDP, and the other microeconomic variables. These are illustrated there. As expansion peak and recession. That's how we have been living in our economic cycle or in any business cycle. Yes, our economy can rise, expand. There will be a peak of our economy, and sometimes we did see in our international world there when they had their recession, that side, the other side of the world, we also felt a pinch of it, and we had a recession. That's how the business cycle goes. You may want to read more about it in your study guide, colleagues. While we still at the economic activities, during the expansion phase, the economy grows. Interest rates are low, producing products rises and inflation pressure build. The expansion phase reaches its peak when the growth reaches its maximum rate. When growth slows down again, the period of contraction happens. Employment falls and price stagnant, don't go up and don't go down. If the growth continues, it will high the graph. This is the time the economy it is at its lowest point. Once growth starts again, it will be referred to as economic recovery. Once you pick up in your economic environment or your economic situation in any country. And there will be an impact of inflation. The large project, a large project that run over a longer period, inflation is projected during the planning phase of the project. Inflation measures how much more expensive a set of goods and services has become over a certain period, usually a year. I made reference in the beginning, or I think in my past experience when I was facilitating this project management, where I made example of goods and services such as the cement during our World Cup. This is what happened because there was a inflation impact there. So the price of the cement went up and that impacted on the delivering on time the stadiums, in certain stadiums during the 2010 World Cup preparation. Inflation refers to an increase in a price in general, not to an increase in a price of one commodity, say bread, petrol, or tools. Inflation measurement, the most commonly used indicator of average price level is the Consumer Price Index, CPI. CPI is an index which reflects the cost of a representative basket of customer goods and services. While we're still at the economic activity, effect of inflation or lenders, their contribution effect associated with the inflation. Inflation affects the distribution of income and wealth among many participants in the economy. For an example, inflation benefits debtors at the expense of lenders. If there has been inflation between the time of borrowing and the time of repayment, the money that you borrowed pays back the decrease in value. Effect of inflation on the economy. Inflation has a number of economic effects. This may result in lower economic growth and higher unemployment than would otherwise have occurred. Decision makers become more concerned with anticipating inflation than with finding our profitable new opportunities. and their colleagues, there will be causes of inflation. You might have had or participated in decision on the possible causes of inflation. Different interest groups blame each other for causing inflation. The truth of the matter is that inflation is a complex, dynamic process which cannot be ascribed to a single cause. An example there, in your study guide, the price of a diesel may rise, the wages paid to drivers may increase, the price of a accommodation may go up, etc., etc., etc. There will be economic drivers there. Economic drivers, there will be cost push inflation, prices are pushed up because cost of production increase, and there will be a demand pull inflation. This happens when too much money is chasing too little goods. And of course, there will be demand pull inflation can be caused by the factors listed there and explained below. You may want to read there in your study guide, more spending by household, more investment spending by companies, increased government spending, and increased export earnings. There are explanations there. You may want to read them. Their main source of cost push inflation are discussed in the table below: increase in wage and salaries, natural disaster, decreased productivity. This is a single large cost item in the economy. In South Africa, the remuneration of labor constitutes about 50% of the gross domestic product, GDP. Natural disaster, where the explanation rises the cost of production and the price of agricultural products. Where when we see the decreased productivity, if the factors of the production becomes less productive while still receiving the same salary, the cost of producing each unit of output goes up. Where we see here now, when the project needs goods from a supplier outside South Africa, you will have to change your rands into the currency or money used in your supplier's country. So if you need something from Botswana, you may want to use their own currency there because they are your suppliers. But in our neighboring countries, they're still accepting the rands. But if you may want to go to Asian countries, getting goods and items there, you may use their own currency. There is a way to measure one currency against the other. The exchange rate, that is what it will apply. This is the rate at which one currency can be exchanged for another currency. This rate changes from time to time. Many factors affect it, e.g. inflation rate, level of economic activity, political stability or instability, etc., etc. Any questions, colleagues? In absence of questions, you may want us to do activity number 6, but before we get to activity number 6, we'll do activity number 5. So in a nutshell, we're doing 6 from your portfolio of evidence. When we are done with 6, we do activity number 7. And then I wanted to go to project communication when you are done. Activity number 6 and 7, may we just, if you don't have any questions, may we just do those activities now? We have only this week and next week to complete this module. I'm not sure whether we can start doing this activity or not.
I'm just busy reading the question between everything at the moment. There's only 3 of us, 2 of us. Oh, 3.
Yeah, it's only 3.
Yeah, I'm just
yeah.
trying to.
Okay. Activity 6, managing costs. Yes. Okay. Sorry, Karen.
Yeah, it's activity number 6, then we go to activity number 7, because what I've just been talking about covers even activity number 7.
Maybe you have sponsor a meeting between yourselves and very important project stakeholders. Calculate the approximate cost of your project team and regular meeting. So there's a venue, to hire a venue, guys. It's not rocket science. It's 2,000 rand.
So do we?
Sorry?
I'm saying, do we have to come up with our own cost?
I assume so.
Okay. All right.
So I'm just gonna put 2,000 rand for the venue, 1,500 rand for snacks, coffee, tea, and cold drinks. Since there's no alcohol, we'll put 300 rand. Transport costs. Oh, I don't know where we transport to, guys. 1,000 rand for transport costs. Stationery, I'm gonna put 500 rand. Number of attendees, hours, average hourly rate. See table and learner guide. Does anybody have that? Where's that table?
Okay, let me just open it quickly.
Oh, you got it. Sure. What page is that on when you find it? Oh, here we go.
It's page what?
You know what page it's on?
No, I'm not sure. I'm just looking.
Okay, that's somewhere between 54 down and somewhere there. Cost inflation, factors, increased wages, project expansion, manufacturer, sending. Does anyone have that page?
No, we're still looking.
Okay, no, I'm just yeah, I know you are. I was talking about Mark. If Mark's there.
Sorry, Gareth, I'm just handing out some calls here and helping my field.
Okay, no problem. Tabu, do you know what page this is on, please? Hello, Tabu, are you there?
Yeah. Let me just check for you.
Okay, thank you.
Let me just check.
There's so many tables here. I don't know what I mean.
It should be page 51.
Oh, long past 59.
Are you sure it's page 51?
What table did they say you must look at?
I think we have
Because
to
I'm
look
not
under
open.
managing cost.
So the question is
Managing?
number of
I think that's to look.
So the question for the budget or the costing was number of attendees hours, average hourly rate, seat table and learner guide.
Okay, let me just check. Yeah, because the only table that is there on the learning guide under the costing.
So can we just can we discard that? So can we discard that? Oh no, but then we can't calculate the hourly rate for the attendees because we need to know the number of attendees to calculate the hourly rate to have them there, I assume.
Yeah, there's no any other table here.
It's control fund hourly rate. See what happens there.
Okay, we'll just have to get back to that. Let me see. Oh, okay. You know, supposedly you can take the one that it says here, but no. Not that one.
There's no table here.
Because you see the table at page 47. It's about the budget on its own.
I'm going there 47. Yeah. But still doesn't speak to an hourly. It doesn't speak to an hourly rate. What's the hourly rate?
Remember, as a project manager, you will do your hourly rate and you become innovative there. You're showing us how you calculated your hours. Maybe you say 10 rands times an hour. And for how many hours are you multiplying that?
Okay, cool. So then we'll just do our own one.
Yeah, and you're just showing us how you applied, how you derive to that hourly rate. So you'll say 1 hour times 5 hours if it's that, and for how many people times with a rate that you are believing that is suitable. If it's 7 rands, if it's 5 rands, and then you do your expenses there. Innovation.
Okay, cool. As long as you're happy with that. So 10 people.
Yeah.
10 people. I'm going to charge them 10 rand per hour because I'm cheap. And then I'm going to have him for 5 hours.
You see. There we go.
Okay.
Because you may want to use that table at page 51, then you say 10 people times as their business item, then you put the amount there at the other column.
I'll just put the breakdown in that one if that's okay. Right.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, cool. Then my total. My day of fun is going to be a cheap 5,800 and my company is going to love me. Okay, that's done. Rebecca, you still with me? You happy?
Yeah, I'm here. Sorry, I was busy
No,
something.
no,
Sorry.
I just want to
Yeah, but
check
I'm here.
before I move on because I know you're the only one who's doing the
Yeah, you
activity.
can move
Do you
on.
Okay, so you got the so you've calculated your hourly rate and everything like that, eh?
Yeah.
You guys on the same page?
Yeah, seems like we are.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me mute myself. Sorry.
I just want to recheck my calculation. 10. I must change that around. Hold on.
Sorry.
Okay, let's go to what is the factors you need to consider if you were to export or import products from the following countries? Zimbabwe.
We have to consider cost.
Obviously, okay, so let's do Zimbabwe first, which was A.
Okay, so
It's something that I was busy talking about where you need to consider, but I'm not even supposed to lead you here, but we just spoken about it now. Remember what I was talking about, where you look at the inflation, where you look at the exchange rate, where you look at et cetera, et cetera. Remember those items that I was trying to highlight you, where when you're considering doing exports and imports. I thought I should remind you of those things.
So,
okay, so it's gonna be obviously because it's an outside country, so it's gonna be cost. It's gonna be
cost
capital, which you just mentioned now, and resources like your transportation, your
security is the issue.
yeah, I think that falls also under
Resources.
laws because yeah.
Under?
No, so we're gonna say security, and then also every country have laws, obviously.
Yeah, the laws.
So remember, we're crossing a border gate here, so it's gonna be laws and regulations.
Guys, sorry, man, I'm just tapping back in and out, in and out. Don't you think this has got something to do with the interest rates that we were speaking?
Yeah, but that will fall into costs. Won't it?
Yeah.
But won't that fall into costs? So we'll put that next to costs, interest rates.
Yeah, I think we need to be more specific in terms of the cost of, obviously, and then and there's also, you mentioned what the current exchange rates are between. So maybe 1 million Zimbabwe dollars equals to 1 South African rand type of thing. So you have to look at the exchange rate as well as
okay,
the
so more like
exchange rate.
Okay, so we're gonna say sorry.
I'm just thinking, but basically exchange rates between the two countries hosting this whatever meeting.
Okay, so what you're saying is under cost we have to be specific, like put so let's say maybe it's $10 times the exchange rate, which I don't know what the exchange rate is today. So we're gonna make an example like that.
Yeah.
No, it's not necessary to calculate the rate and the dollar factors. You need to consider the factors. What are the factors to be considered when you are doing export and import? Obviously, the inflation rate, foreign exchange, those slides that I was covering now. Obviously, Interrelations Act, what does it say? Obviously, the Interrelations Act against this country's trade and policy, what does it say? Or You may want you can expatiate. You can expatiate, but don't calculate the rand and the what versus the obviously the inflation. Or if we are at the bad inflation rate thing, you need to check whether is it viable for you to be exporting. Those are the factors that you need to consider. Or importing. What if their rand versus their currency? Obviously, check at the currency status. What is the current status says? Those slides that I was covering, colleagues, don't calculate the rand and the what. It's not necessary.
You see, that was Tobacco was talking. Basically, when you finish with the one question, you've got to switch off that. We were in the calculation mode. I must forget about that. You know what I mean? Now we look at the next thing, because I also get, it happens to me, and it's still in my brain what I just answered, and I'm not actually reading what they're asking. They're asking for factors. They're not asking for discrete numbers and currencies. They're not asking for that. They want to know what are the factors, and we just covered that in that slides that he put now. So, like I said, I'm not fully focused, but that's what I think should be made. That's what we need to answer it around there, you know. And also, if you look at that whole what you could, I know that's probably also maybe throwing us, because they're showing you, but they're taking those factors and then they're putting it into calculations. But always look. What I'm learned with this thing is wherever you get a question, go and look at how it fits into what was covered in the learner guide, as well as what was presented on the teaching on the course today. These activities, nobody can expect us to do it if it wasn't covered. So we always have to look at what was just covered, and what did the manual say, and how did the lecturer summarize that and highlight those focal points, and then.
Right, so I just did a quick summary from, I'm speaking to both countries, A and B. I think it's both have the same sort of risks when it comes to importing and exporting. So I put interest rates, exchange rates, as well as our capital, because it's all costing the resources, security and risk, the laws and regulations, passports and visas, loss of damage of goods in transit, non-payments of the goods or services, the cost of returning to prevent, the cost of our returning our premises or any goods to the buyers, the political or economic stability of the country, new customers, the customer's credit worthiness, and then obviously the currency stability at that current moment. So that's what I put down. I don't know how you guys feel about that, but I'm speaking to question A and B. See, when Mark's quiet, they don't know he's stumped. He's confused.
No, sorry, I think I said I agreed with it. I didn't know I was on mute. I'm busy getting allocating calls and now in my field, but I can't do today. I can't really focus. Mark is not even in front of me. Mark is doing calls, so I'm really very half here.
Cool. Let's move on if we're happy with that. Next one. How much interest would you pay for 50,000 Rand loan, which you received from the bank on the 1st of January 2020, which is payable at the end of June 2020? Assume an interest rate is 8% per annum. Show your calculations. Where's Mark and Anthony now? Our maths guys. Okay.
No, that's just a simple maths question there.
Yeah, then go. You're up, because I know you like these ones.
So the first thing is the interest rate is 8% per annum, which is basically the fraction would be 8 over 100 for a year. Okay, but now the period that we have to do it is from January to June, which you can see is basically a half a year. Agree?
Which is half a year, which is 6 months.
Yeah, it says 6 months. So we got an interest rate of 8% per annum. So if we're only gonna pay back, we're not gonna pay the full year, because we're gonna pay it back in 6 months. Understand?
Mhm.
So we're going to pay whatever we work of the 8%, we need to halve that figure. So off we go. So basically you take your calculator and you chuck all those formulas in there. 8 over 100 times 50,000 over 1. And that will give you, that's 500 times 8, which will give you probably about 4,000, I think. Looks about right. That would be 8% would be 4,000 rand. So then half of that for the 6-month period would be 2,000.
So you're saying it's 2,000 rand?
Look, I'm not using the calculator. I'm just giving it in my head.
No.
But
I don't know. I don't know how the hell you do that. I'm impressed. Okay, but are you sure you need to half the 8%? Because 8% is per annum. Okay, so you're saying you need to half it down to 4%.
Yeah, if you want to look at it that way, if you put it in the math thing, it's going to work out the same. If you take 4% of it, but basically, you don't want to change what is the given. The given is 8%. So, but what we do know is we're not going to be paying or be charged interest for the full year because we're going to pay it back within half a year. We agree that from January to June is 6 months. 6 months is half a year. What happened now? It's gone.
No, it's still here. I'm busy trying to think. I'm going to put this. But now we need to.
Yeah, but like I said,
you need to explain in the formula why you half it, obviously.
Yeah, because I'm here, but I'm trying to understand. I think
you're not
I'm
getting it.
lost.
Okay. Look, how many months are there in a year?
12.
12, right? So if
Mhm.
you were gonna, if your interest was from and you were gonna pay back over 12 months, which is a year, you would be paying back in December. So now they're saying you basically your is payable at the end of June 2020. It's both and January. So the time period that passes from June to from January to June is 6 months. January, February, March, April, May, June. 6 months. So you're going to pay the thing in half the period. So that your rate stays 8%, but if you pay it back in half the period, you won't be paying that other half. I don't know how else to explain it.
No, you're right.
I think we've lost Mike.
No, I'm still here. I don't know. That's best I can explain it there. But remember, we can always go reference because on that page 51, I think there's a whole lot of calculation in there. But you're going to see it's going to come down to the same thing. This is like it's basic mathematics.
Mark, I'll be back now. I got another call coming that I need to answer. It's my boss.
I haven't got the screen, but I need to keep an eye on my field here also. Rebecca, are you with me?
Yeah, I'm with you.
Do you understand what I'm trying to say? So
Yeah, I do understand. Sorry, saying?
No, maybe I just not enough confusing the issue more. But basically,
numbers do confuse me.
I think words again just confuse me all the time. When I read it, I see things that's not even there, you know. So, but when I see numbers, there's no misinterpretation. There's only one way it can do. It's either right.
Yeah, I
or
think
wrong,
they make more sense to you.
Yeah. So I don't know. Are you presenting the program here, or is it Gareth? Because we can now move. Let me get my one.
Mike?
Yeah.
I don't know.
But now,
can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I can present it on my side, but how do I get control? I'm going to ask Gareth for control.
Yeah, I think because Gareth is presenting. I don't know who's presenting.
I think Gareth is control the content. They have requested from him.
So can you say what you just said again? How do we calculate this? Is it number 3? Yes, number 3.
Okay, let me just see if I haven't got a pencil here. Just give me get my book open here because I'm busy with other stuff now. So, what we did that one? So, okay.
So it says, how much interest would you pay for a 50,000 loan, which you receive from the bank on the 1st of January 2020, and which is payable at the end of June 2020?
Okay,
Assume an interest rate is 8%.
Okay, so let's leave the period that we're going to pay it back in, to maybe simplify it this way. So we would say the interest rate on the loan is 8% of 8% of what they loan us, right? So we will take 8 over 100, 8 divided by 100. Do you agree with that, right? 8 divided by 100, and we will multiply that by
50,000.
50,000. And what will we get there?
Okay, let me just use my calculator because I'm not that good.
So that will give us 500 times 8, which is 4,000. Right? So, but that is what we would have paid if we would have paid from the period January, and we had to pay it back in December, because a year is from January to December.
To December, yeah.
Right? So that would be 12 months. Okay? You agree with that?
Yeah, but now we have to put it in 6 months.
They're saying if we pay back in 6 months, do we agree that 6 months is half a year?
Yeah, it's over here.
Do you agree then you would then obviously pay half of the interest back? So then we take half of 4,000 and it will give us 2,000. So the way you can answer that,
now it makes sense.
Yeah, you can say over the whole year you would have paid back 4,000, but because you're paying it back in half the period, you're going to make a saving basically of the other half. Because I mean, you pay the loan back, there's no need to pay interest. Understand? Yeah. Okay, so we are right on that one. Cool. So we can move on. But now I'm asking Gareth for, I can't move forward because I can't see him. I asked him for control. I'm just going to read it. You must just look at your one. I don't know if there's anybody else listening here, but I'm going to just move down to the next question, and between the two of us, you can move on. Okay?
Okay, alrighty.
So just move your thing down and we'll read it. You approach bank Zing.
Sorry, Mark, before you move on, the conclusion was from the formula, it's 4 times 100 divided by 50,000 is the total, which you said was 2,000, correct?
Yeah, it's the same thing. But I wouldn't, if you're given as 8%, if a bank gives you a loan, you can't say, now listen, actually your rate is now 4% because I'm only paying half. That you can work out in your own brain. It's going to work at the same thing. But I would just, like I explained to Rebecca now, you work at 8%. So if you had paid, irrespective of the terms, the period that they gave.
No, I know that. But I just want to come to our agreement on the calculation. I do understand that whole basis.
Yeah.
But
that's
what
the
calculation?
Final answer.
Yeah. Okay, so I gave the right answer there. The calculation.
Yes.
Okay, cool. Thank you, Mark. You may proceed.
Okay, cool. You like I say, you approach Bank Zing for a loan of 100,000 to support your project. The banker gave you 2 options: a 12% interest for 3 years on a simple interest basis. Now we have to understand what that means. And a 10% per annum for 3 years based on a compound basis. So now that was covered in the things there. People need to know simple interest and compound. So what are they saying there?
The approve.
Okay,
so obviously that's just the scenario that's currently happening. Now it's required. Calculate the interest rate per year and the total at the end of the year in case A. So case A is 12% interest rate. So now we need to calculate that one.
So well, there you go. You approach the bank. The bank gave you 2 options: 12% for 3 years on a simple. So this is not what I remember on compound interest is as the value increases or decreases, it gets reworked or something. I don't know. We have to go and read what a simple interest and compound interest is based on. There, someone said here now, some people saying simple interest is based on the original principal amount of the loan.
So that's basically a fixed rate, so it won't change from 12%.
Yeah. Not going to change. Yeah. So basically, you're going to work, I would think, 12%
times
of 100,000, which gives you 12,000, right? And you times that by 3. So you'd pay back 36,000 Rand for question 1. We agree.
Hold on, I'm still busy typing here. I never ever use these symbols on my list. So it gives us a total of 12% or 12?
So it's
12%.
12% of 100,000. That gives you, like we said, how much? That gives you 12,000.
12. Yes. Times 3.
12,000. You times it by 3. So we're going to basically what they're saying there in that, like some people said now, every year we're going to pay 12,000 Rand interest, irrespective of if the balance is coming down. It's fixed on the original amount. So our interest is going to stay 12,000 every year, and we're going to pay it back on over 3 years. So we're going to pay back 36,000. We all agree on that.
Yeah, I can see. Maths was not my strong suit, huh?
That's my part of it.
Like I said to Rebecca, as you know, Gareth, words are not mine. You always say I overcomplicate things because I'm busy analyzing words with mathematical precision. I can't answer it.
Okay, calculate the amount owing at the end of the 3rd year and how much more interest would you pay compared to a simple interest in this case. What? Calculate the amount owing. That should be okay. Owed, not owing. Owed at the end of the 3rd year, and how much more interest you would pay compared to a simple interest rate. This is in the case of B. Must be tied. That's just, I'm not understanding the question.
You see, with the compound payback, I think as you pay back, then the interest goes on the balance. So say, let's use an example. Say we start with 100,000, we pay in 1 year, we pay back 30,000. The next year's interest is now going to work out to 30,000. Sorry, 100,000 minus the 30,000 minus the interest for that original thing, which was at 10%. Then now the next year is going to work on that balance again. That's how I'm understanding it. I can't remember because I was not focusing when he went through it. I just saw him early mentioning about compound and fixed or simple. I don't know. So maybe someone must just reference and see that we are on track to understand what a compound. Maybe some people can answer us there quickly. He's sending us messages here. You can just tell us what does a compound interest rate mean? Does anybody know?
I'm Googling what it means.
Nobody covered it now.
Anybody know compound interest? So compound, the benefit amounts in the effective date is to increase or multiply. I must ask my girlfriend. She's here. I'm going to ask for compound interest. This is what she does for a living.
My understanding, basically, what's going to happen with the compound interest, as you pay it off, is the interest is, as you come closer to the end, the interest is going to, the interest rate is going to drop because the amount is being paid off. Understand? So if they're saying 10% and you pay the first year, maybe you pay back 30,000, right? And you pay back, say you pay 30,000 back for that first year, and the interest for that would have been 10%, which is it's 10% of that is how much? 10%.
So it says here, Compound interest is interest on interest.
10,000.
What is
Oh.
what this mean?
So it would have been the interest for the first year. Let's agree on this. The interest of the first year for B would have been 10% of 100,000. Can we agree on that? And that works out to 10,000. Do we agree on that? Guys?
Like I'm here, but guys, I'm so confused. I'm
You
very
remember-
confused.
You remember how we did the first calculation? Let's do
Yeah.
the second calculation exactly like that, just in pieces. So 10% for 1 year, we're looking at how much interest would we have to pay on the 100,000 rand loan?
So what's the formula? 10% times
10%, 10 over 100 times 100. So the interest for the first year would be 10,000. Do we agree on that?
yeah.
Okay.
That's
Now, okay. Go.
okay. Now I'm with you now. So the first one was interest per 3 years. This is per annum. So this is per. So you know what? So so the first one A is 12% interest for 3 years. So you'll only be charged
Oh, yes,
interest
we did it
every
wrong.
3 years. So 12%. So that calculation is wrong on the first one. And then B is per annum. So that's 10% per a year, opposed to the other one being 12% per every 3 years.
Yeah, that's true. I did it wrong too. Well done, there, Gareth.
Okay, so now we need to change formula A.
So that will just be 12% over 100.
Yeah.
12% over 100. It's a fixed rate for the whole amount. 12
So that will be
over 100 times 100 gives you 12,000. So it's not 36,000. I read it as per annum. Well done there, Gareth. You see there? You got a man brain, you see there.
okay.
I told you
Tobacco,
words confuse me.
Tobacco, are you with us? Did you see that? Do you see what we're getting at?
Yeah, I'm still with you guys.
Okay. Now the 10% one will be 10 times 100, which will give us a total of. Mark, spits it out.
I don't know, buddy. I'm not even looking at it.
So 10% of 100,000.
100,000 is 10,000.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
So the
10,000.
interest for the first 10% per annum. So the interest for the first year will be 10,000.
Yeah.
What is
10,000.
it?
Sorry. No. 10,000 rand per 3 years. So then we have to 12, 24, 36. Then we have to times that by 36. Correct me if I'm wrong.
No, I don't know why. I don't know.
You don't know why? Oh no, per annum times 3. Sorry, I'm calculating months. Sorry. So that will give us 30,000.
We need to understand how compound interest. I don't know.
Okay, well, I'm doing it like that. So even if I get one wrong mark,
that section of the lesson that I wasn't listening to what this compound basis works. We need to understand to answer this question. That's all I know. We need to understand what that means. Simple interest, we see it's a fixed interest, 12% over 3 years. That's simple. We got that answer done. The B part, the calculate the amount, what you could, we need to understand what we are paying back per annum, first of all. And we need to know what the interest, how to calculate the interest per annum. Is it on the original amount and it stays like that, which is silly, nobody will ever agree to something like that? Or is it on the new value after? So after you paid back, say you paid back 50,000, is someone's answering? Gareth, you there? Hello? Hello?
Sorry, I'm busy reading. Calculated the formula. Well, I got the formula. Principal simple interest applies to fixed rate. A compound interest, however, is calculated on your principal amount plus your accumulated interest. So the difference between this is called your principal. A simple interest applies to a fixed rate, which we've established, that meaning that the interest remains the same in a lifetime or loan or account. Okay, then compound interest, however, is calculated on the principal amount plus your accumulated interest.
Okay.
So wait, so as that amount lessens, it drops. Is that what they're trying to say?
Yeah.
But then how much does it drop by?
By the 10%. Sorry, not by the 10%. We need to know how much you're paying back in a year. Okay? I don't know.
30,000. So then I assume.
No, but that's 30,000 over 3 years.
Okay,
Calculate the amount owing at the end of the third year. We don't know how much that.
Yeah, so then that would.
All we need to know is how much are we going to pay back in a year. I don't know if you must use your own discretion there and say, I don't know how it works.
Okay, so then you take the 100,000, you divide that by your monthly payments of the month, which is 36. No, wait, so how much is it plus your interest, which is 130,000? So you take 130,000, divide by 36. That's your monthly installments then. Am I right, Mark?
I don't know how to calculate the monthly installment.
No,
but
so look at it. So look at your monthly installments.
Can we rather stay with years? Why are you looking at months?
Because obviously,
no,
because normally when you do,
we're talking per annum. That for B, it says 10% per annum for 3 years on a compound basis.
Okay, but when you pay things back, you don't pay it back yearly, or do you pay it back monthly? I've never paid anything back yearly. Okay, so
don't complicate it further, but I want to work on years.
Okay, so then we take 130 divided by 3. That will give us what's wrong button? Mark, where's your big brain? Come. No, that's 43,333. Okay.
Let's look at this on the learning guide, and I'm going to go look there quickly. So now hold on, there I must go again. I got calls in the queue. Just give me a second.
But then we need to calculate. Okay, so that's a total.
Let me just look at the learning guide. How did they calculate compound interest? Then I will explain what I understand.
Okay.
Where's the learning guide? Oh. Fixed in the yes, where's 10%? Here we go. Oh yeah, okay, they're saying. So the question we should look at is not how much you're paying back. It's the questions specifically related to. I think that question's actually worded wrong, but okay. The interest, they show you basically that your interest will, over a 3-year period, which is exactly the same example, your interest will start off basically at 10% for they use for 100 rand, so I suppose it would be the same for 100,000 rand. Understand? Hello, Gareth?
So I need to do something quickly. Are you on your own now? I need to just update something quickly.
There's 10%. How did you work out from the previous one? 11%. So your interest, compound interest calculation is increasing on the. How did they come to that 100 amount at start period? 100.
I think we should put a pin in this one. Leave this question
Yeah,
red,
let's move on.
and let's move on. Which option do you like best for your business? If I get this right, I get 2 marks. So if I guess it,
We lose 2 marks.
Okay. Then let's move on to the third question. So I just need to do a response check quickly for strange enough a project plan. I'll be with you guys now.
Okay. Okay. So we're moving on. Come back to that one. You receive 150,000 for the project to use in 5 years. However, you want to know how much the 150,000 is in today's value, assuming an interest rate of 10%. Calculate the value of the amount in today's terms. Rebecca, you want to give it a go? You receive 150,000 for the project to use in 5 years. However, you want to know how much 150,000 is in today's value. Assuming a 10% interest rate. So we're talking here about the erosion of the value of the money through inflation. Do we agree? I don't know. So basically, 10 Rand today at current inflation rates will probably be worth maybe 5 Rand or 2 Rand in 10 years' time. In terms of its purchasing value. I think we need to look at the section on inflation on this thing. Is there anybody there?
Sorry, no, I need to respond to this thing. I'll be with you guys now. Sorry, man.
Okay, I'm going to look up what they show you on inflation. Here's a section. Clear understanding of value of money over a period of time is essential to understanding of finance. The time value of money means that a person could increase the value of an amount of money by earning interest. This concept recognizes that the Rand received today has a different value, buying power to a Rand received or paid out at some future date. Okay, that's more or less the same thing they're saying. It is for this reason that the method is required to convert flows of money in different time periods to a common base value that can be compared. For example, to calculate how much 100 in 2 years is worth today, we have to discount that amount by interest rates. Okay? Say 10% from 2 years to today's value. We use the present value formula. So the present value formula is the amount divided by the sum of 1 plus R, where R is equal to the interest rate. We've got that, we've got the amount, we've got the interest rate. 1 plus, and N is the period. Okay, so they use the example there that they spoke about. And they basically put the 100 Rand in there and 1 plus 0.1, which is basically R, where it's the interest rate, which is 10%. 10% is was 0.1. And then basically you can see that that fraction 1 plus is 1.1 over 100. And the value had decreased by what, 17 Rand 48 cents. So we use the formula. So basically we need to substitute that. This means that 10% interest rate on 100 Rand in 2 years is equal, the value in 2 years of 100 Rand today is going to be worth What did it say? This means that at 10% interest rate, 100 Rand in 2 years is equal to 82 Rand 62 in today's value. It's another way of saying it. I don't like the wording there, but I think what this means is that 100 Rand in 2 years in today's value will be worth, okay. Basically, the value of 100 Rand, what it's worth today, would have diminished in today's value. It would have diminished to 82 Rand 62 over the period. Is anybody with me? I'm talking alone here. I don't know. Rebecca, are you there? Nobody.
Sorry, Mark, I am listening. I'm just changing some things on this project plan here that they want back in the next 10 minutes.
Okay, cool. I'm just going
I'm
to
listening.
and talk to myself then. Okay, cool. So basically, it's a matter of just taking that formula and applying it there. Okay, let's do that. I'll take that formula in my workbook, stick it in there as part of my answer. Copy that, put that in my workbook here. Okay, so let's substitute. The present value is 150,000. So let's substitute. Okay, this thing. Let's take this and snipping tool. Yeah. Just take that. So the value is 150,000. 150,000 divided by 1 plus R in brackets 1. This plus sign. R to which R is that? 1 plus R to the power n, where n is the period, to the power n. Period. And that gives us the value. So it's 151 plus R, and we took in 10%, so it's again 0.1. 0.1. And the period is 5 years. That is per annum. And 5. So it's 150. There's a calculator. Calculator. $50,000 divided by 1 equals that times 5 It will be 681,000. Yeah. That doesn't look right. Oh. Plus all to the power of 5. Shit. This X. Oh. That's wrong. It says X there. Okay. 5. X. I need a scientific calculator here. X to the 5. And that's basically X to the 5 is basically 1.1 times.
Okay, I'm back. Mark, you have an escalation. Anyway.
What?
Fuck. Question 5.
What did I have an escalation for?
No, I'm just logging a call now. There was a problem yesterday that I tried to WhatsApp you about. Mark the vet is handling 150,000 for a project enough to use in 5 years. However, you want to know how much 150,000 is in today's value. Assuming 10% interest, calculate the value of the amount in today's terms.
Part 1. Oh, this is a hectic number, eh? Okay, and then that.
What's the,
would
so
be
it's 150,000 times
150,000.
by 10%.
Yeah, no, but you got to look at that formula there.
Where's the formula?
This one's gonna really rattle your brain, but divided by. I'm explaining it to you now, guys, but we're gonna take too long if you're gonna. I just want to check because it looked wrong when I did it. So quick. 150,000 divided by 1.6 10. 1.6 10 51. 1.6 10 51 equals 93,000. Yeah. So 150,000 rand, what you call it, the value would have in today's terms. The value would have been worth 93,193.
Just read it. 930.
93,138.
93138.
From 150,000, that value would have depreciated in its capacity to buy its buying power. Yeah.
To 93138.
Yeah. Actually, that actually record went up, right?
Oh, no.
No, it's right. No. From 150,000, it would have dropped to 93,138,000. Let's put it that way.
5,000. So it's 93.
93,138. From 150,000, it would have dropped to that. But I mean, remember we're talking ranges. I don't know how far you can't really round it off. So 150,000 would have dropped to 93,138.
93,138.
Yeah. From 150,000.
Where's the formula
that
for
value will
this?
only have the buying power. Now, to get that, you have to go look for the formula where it tells you. You have to read that section on the manual. It says there in the manual.
What page is that?
Page 50, I think. It starts by 49, the bottom of 49. A clear understanding of the value of money over a period of time is essential to understanding finances. Time value of money means that a person could increase the value of an amount by earning interest. This concept recognizes that the rand received today has a different value or buying power to a rand received or paid out at some time in the future. All that words there, what means is basically today's with a 20 rand, before people always say you could buy 3 loaves of bread. Today you can't even buy 1 loaf of bread, right? Because the value of money.
You're basically speaking about depreciation. That's what you're speaking about.
Yeah, which through cost of inflation. So the power of value, the buying power of the currency, it erodes as inflation increases. Okay. So what they come in, through that, because like your money can gain value through interest, they actually use the formula here. And you must look at that formula on page 50, Gareth.
50. Okay, there we go. So I'm looking
It's
at 48.
reason,
I found the one about compound. Okay, so here's costs defined according to costs can be classified as cost from variable costs. Oh, where? Oh, there.
Where are you going to? I must read there which is for this reason right at the top. That the method is required to convert flows of money in different time periods into a common base value that can be compared. And then they give you an example which is perfect for us because it's exactly our thing, except we're talking about 150,000, not 100 rand. So basically, you see, you have to look to understand how they got to that value. The value of the 100 rand had a buying power after 2 years. It only had a buying power of 82 rand 62 in today's terms. Okay? Are you with me, Gareth?
Yeah, I'm with you.
So now basically we have to take that formula and substitute our values in that formula. So our present value at the moment, but we know what that is. That's 150,000. Now let's look at the section at the bottom. Can you see that 1 plus 0.1 over 2? Our interest rate, our inflation or interest rate or whatever they're saying, the inflation, whatever rate it is, it's 10%, which is the same as ours. So that fraction, that is going to remain 1 plus 10 divided by 100 or 1 plus 0.1. We agree on that?
Yeah.
The thing is that answer is raised to an exponent. So in other words, everybody understand squared. 2 squared is 4. 2 cubed is 8. So that bit of basic mathematics you must understand. So that 2 there is because it's 2 years. You see, 2 years to today's value. In our case, we're talking about 5 years. So that formula will end up being 1 plus 0.1 in brackets raised to the power of 5. You understand that?
Yeah.
Now the thing is, I don't have you need a scientific calculator to just type that in. But basically, when things are raised to the power, it means the number or the base is multiplied by itself so many times. So that answer in brackets, which is 1.1, you must basically take 1.1 and times it by itself. So 1.1 times 1.1. But when it's raised, would be basically it'd be the same as what is written there, 1 plus 0.1 squared. Okay? But now because our years is 5 years, we must take 1.1 times 1.1 times 1.1 times 1.1 times 1.1, which is 5 times that thing. And that answer is very critical. That's going to give you what you must divide it by. And that's going to work out to, where did I put it now? It's going to work out to 1.61051. That section at the bottom of the 100. Can you know what I'm talking about now, Gareth?
Yeah.
So that you must take 150,000, which is our amount, and you must divide it by that. And that's going to give you the answer that the 150,000 would have decreased to the buying power of 93,138. With me?
Yeah.
I don't know if it's just us now. Can we move on or what?
Yeah, let's move on.
Okay, so I'm just gonna write what was the answer we agreed on there?
Was 93138. 93,138.
93138. Okay, cool. And then next question.
Explain how you would use hire purchase and mortgage loan from your bank in your project.
Oh, now we need to understand what they are and what's the differences and what. No? Let's go look in the manual. What is a mortgage loan and hire purchase?
So I'm checking with hire purchase as well. Search. Oh, no, I searched the wrong page.
Where's the?
Oh.
I got hire purchase here, guys, on page 49.
49.
Yeah, page 49 is the top financial services or products. He also covered that in the slide. I just took a screenshot of what he showed there, but you must be able to watch the video again. A special type of installment loan involving the purchase of property like house, allowing for regular payments of interest and principal. A mortgage loan usually involves a large sum of money and a longer repayment period, up to 25 years, than an ordinary installment loan. That's a mortgage loan.
And how you would use it's a hire purchase.
Hire purchase is a system of financing the purchase of plant and equipment, where the owner is vested with lender until the final payment is made. The borrower is required to place a deposit and make, usually monthly repayments, but they always see there is they're basically very simple, but the mortgage loan is a long-term thing, you know. So unless you got a project is running over freaking 25 years, you're probably never going to use a mortgage loan in a project. I don't know. It's just the immediate thought that comes to my mind.
Oh, so it's pretty simple. So this will be like a rent to own, those rent to own options. So
hold on. But then the one is a loan.
No, so listen. So a hire purchase is you basically hire this item so you don't own it until it's fully paid off. Once it's fully paid off, it becomes yours.
Yeah.
Okay. So now to demonstrate understanding how the product can assist you in a new adventure. So for an example, see, there's no example of what we are doing.
Oh, I hear what you're saying. You know what you're saying there is important. Basically, we can use that as financing. You know, so it's almost like you put your mortgage, your house up for how does it work? You know, when you put on a bond, is that what you say?
No. So a hire purchase. Okay, so let's speak to a house. So you can basically stay in the house. You can rent the house, stay in the house, and it will be owned by the bank. Until final payment.
Up your 25 years, yeah. And it's always over a longer period. Yeah.
Is submitted. Upon final amount, the house will become your own. Okay. A mortgage loan. You obviously know what a mortgage loan is. Okay. Definition. A mortgage is a type of loan used to purchase or maintain a home, land, or other types of real estate. The borrower agrees to pay the lender over time, typically in a series of regular payments.
How would you use this in a project, guys? That's what I'm trying to understand. So obviously you're going to need some finances because you can't find sponsors. So you need to get some cash flow for your project. So you can either buy you need a special machine or whatever. You can buy that machine over hire purchase. But where would you use this mortgage?
Okay, so here's a bit of a mortgage is an agreement between you and a lender that gives the lender the right to take your property. If you fail to repay the money, Yeah, if you fail to repay the money you borrowed,
They take your house.
it's plus interest. So if you fail to repay it, they add interest.
Yeah, but basically, if you basically put your dingers down as collateral.
Yeah.
I know people that did ventures like this and they end up losing their houses.
Yeah.
Is that what they mean?
Yeah.
So you could basically, I know there's one guy also did, he almost lost his house, put up his house to sustain the business and whatever. When things continue to go wrong, he almost lost his house.
But
Is that what they mean by
back.
a mortgage
Yeah.
loan? So you make a loan on your property by a bank.
Yeah.
And you just got to see that you repay those amounts because you need, and it will be a long-term thing. But my thing is, wow, in a project, how many does it go in a project? And you're going to have to pay. How long is the project going to go for? 25 years. Must you pay it back in 25 years? Can you pay it back quicker?
I don't know.
So where would you use it in the project? Say you needed like a huge one of what do you think in terms of examples?
Mortgage financing, I don't know. Doesn't say a project mortgage definition. A project a project mortgage. Example of a project means considering a deed or trust for other collateral security.
Yeah.
So
Okay, so are you finding this on Google now, Gareth? There's obviously not what's saying in the manual.
No, so okay, so now I'm going back to I was Googling. So I'm looking to the mortgage one, a special type of installment loan involving a purchase of property like a house, a line for regular payments, interest or principal. A mortgage loan usually involves a larger sum of money and a longer repayment period for up to 25 years and ordinary installments. So that's why I'm confused. How do we work?
You
What's
see,
the question?
in this case, my understanding is the manual is confusing the crap out of everything. That's just my understanding. Because there's one way to understand the mortgage, but that makes you think in terms of buying a house. But the question is about, so we need to Google, because we don't have to take everything from the manual. Because there's two ways of seeing it. The one is actually using it as collateral, and the other one is to go and purchase your house.
But what project are we? But what project are we talking about?
Any project that we're doing that we would need financial. What do you call it?
So basically, you will take a mortgage on your home to fund your project. That's all you'll do. You'll take a mortgage on home to fund your project. If you fail, if
that project failed, you lose your house.
if you fail on the project or repayments, the collateral placed will be taken by the bank.
And that probably you will use that type of thing where you cannot guarantee. You can't use a higher purchase or HP thingy loan if you cannot guarantee that your project is going to be generating from on a monthly basis. So maybe as where you use the one where you're not going to see returns for a longer period. And you would use the other one where you know you're going to see returns on regular returns that can meet that payment. Understand? Otherwise, who's going to pay it?
Oh.
I don't know what your thoughts. Why would you use the one, not use the other? In which situation? That's the question. So how you would use higher purchase and mortgage loan products from your bank in your project, and use that example. Use examples to demonstrate the understanding of the products. Can assist in a new venture. I think that's we'll have to just read up more. But I think Gareth, I don't know what you think, but I think we covered everything we can cover there. But can we move on?
Yeah, I just want to send this email. Yeah.
I haven't looked at my queue. I'm getting people. Gareth, your lady's escalating me for calls in the queue, and I'm trying to concentrate here, buddy.
She's doing her job. She's doing her job.
I gave it. I remember I haven't got Mark helping me, so I have to jump between the two. And guys are asking me in the group for travel calls and who knows what they ask. They have got 8 questions about, so I'm going to go silent now.
Don't worry, I got everybody, because obviously I'm the point of contact for everybody. So my inbox, mailbox, phone box, every box is.
Capitec stores, everything sums at West Cape Town.
You see now, got escalated. That scope of work I just did during the session was wrong.
Okay, I'll be back with you now, Gareth. I just want to order one terminal. No, I'll cover your thing, eh? For your account, buddy. So let me just go order that quickly. The guys are almost at the store. You can read the next one, or we're going to move on. I'll listen while you're reading.
No. I need to do something also now. I think we need someone else to take over. I see everyone's basically dropped out except for us and the moderators.
Yeah, we are like suckers for punishment.
Yeah, I'm looking at it and I'm like wondering, will they even cope to do what you have done? That's another challenge. But be as it may, the session has to go on, and we really behind of the schedule in terms of the study guide, and so.
I don't know if you're allowed to give us guidance. Are we hitting the right tracks with what we're discussing, me and Gareth?
Absolutely.
Oh, okay. Thanks for that, because I don't know if we are on right or wrong.
No, you are on the right track, because I like the fact how you derive from the answers. As long as you illustrate how you derive that, but that's exactly how we want to see. And the way that you've been discussing the calculation, that's exactly how it is.
Okay,
so
thank
you must just show how did you derive to that, and that's all matters. And your understanding.
Perfect.
I've been listening, but we can continue, colleagues, because honestly, I can't wait for guys who are not here, and you are already here. So let us deal with what we have.
Okay. Were we supposed to do 2 activities today?
Yeah, I was looking to do 2 activities, but if we're gonna struggle to do activity number 1 and complete this activity, how are we gonna even get to the second activity, which is activity number 7?
Yeah, exactly. Gareth, maybe we shouldn't just throw ideas between us. We can go faster. And then I just know what you think, and then I'll go and mull it over, and somehow maybe.
But I think
just need to. Yeah, I'm being pulled away again. I got more problems again. Sorry, Tybo, I don't mean to be rude. Just trying to do everything and this at one time is crazy.
Crazy, and I got a guy on the way to go and collect the part. I haven't ordered the part yet, so I'm just still trying to order that quickly.
Okay, where are we at now?
We on questions. We just finished the discussion on the hire purchase and mortgage and the difference. We were trying to how we would use it, but I mean, we'll just have to apply our minds individually further. But I think that we covered what we needed to cover there. So we're on 7 now.
Okay, on 7.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know whether Gareth is still there, and yourself, Mark. Would you want to continue this in your own discussion and then complete this activity? Will that be okay? Once you are done, both of you, and then you can try and wrap up this activity for your own sake.
So just to add that, so Mark and I've actually been discussing, because we're battling to get to everything. We're actually going to try and arrange with the other guys to have a discussion session maybe on Fridays. Hopefully that will help you get through your task and as well as ours. Yeah.
Let's
This
plan
Friday.
You see what's happening with me with my stuff. I'm not quite sure if I'm going to in depth in the way I'm trying to answer it. I mean, the last one that we did, I said to guys, you had to do a project. You had to do a project charter. I understand that to be a very formal document in my POE. And I mean, it's right down to drawing down the schedule. I had to find my own tools to make the schedule, and then my project that I just suggested. Actually, I gave it more thought this time, and I have to assign right down the work packages, and that is time consuming. It's like really being a real project manager. And I just don't understand how everybody, is it just me that's actually, I'm going too into detail on what I must do? Or am I just stupid and everybody else is getting it? I don't know. So that's why we want to kind of compare, not go do a plagiarism, but just see that we're on the right track, because I'm not sure. That's why I asked you now also, are we on the right track here?
You are in the right track in as far as so far the activities that I've done and observed with you in class. And in terms of the templates of the project management, I often say, be as simple as possible, as long as you can demonstrate that you have an understanding, in a sense that you don't need to be a technocrat and put the software of the Gantt chart. I mean, you can make the activities and then make a template, put them in an activity, and then you just divide them into days. Obviously, you have rows and columns that supply. If it says 10 days, then you just need to put them. You do an arrow that illustrate this activity will take duration of 2 days. This activity, that's a simple Gantt chart as far as I'm concerned, simplifying it, not putting the software in place. I thought I should give you that indication.
Okay, now that's
so in a template, when you create your own template in terms of the activities that you wanna do, the duration, in Word, there's shapes and what that you can take, which is an arrow. That arrow will illustrate. You can prolong it to 2 days. That will indicate that your scheduling will be in 2 days as far as that activity is concerned. So I don't know.
Yeah, no, that's where I'm battling with. I think that's where I want to actually just get together and see that I'm at least on the right page. Because I think my project is a very simple thing. Choose a thing that's in the community and how you're going to. But by the time I just decided, okay, I'm going to actually basically just rejuvenate this long-term goals that I want to whatever, but basically host a talent show. But in the end of the day, that simple idea became such a mission. It's now a fully fledged thing, and I don't know if I'm because I'm trying to answer on the knowledge that I've learned and how it should be and what it should be. So what you're saying is I can actually just list, like for example, the objectives, the risks, this, that. Can I just put lists there, because I'm trying to apply all the theory in there, and it's taking me forever. I'm finished with my project charter, and everything is done on my last. I'm talking about the previous module, and now it's told me now I've run into a bit of a mishap, which I must now somehow interpret and then write an addendum to that and get approval for that. Like I mean, this is just it's hectic. I must tell you, it's hectic.
I can imagine, but try to be as simple as possible. Like I'm saying, some other tools in the project management, you can use them doing the tables, as simple as that. You don't need a software for anything, and try to be creative on that and show your demonstration of understanding. I'm not expecting to have a software being tabled on your POEs, as long as you're demonstrating that you have an understanding what is the Gantt chart. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. No. I'll just because I guess the last thing I'm just going to do now is basically the addendum. We are into some problems, and then also I still need to do the one section guidance. I don't know if you did that. I need to actually now go and do a stakeholder. What's that
Analysis.
Analysis. And I mean, my thing is, I just heard more or less how you would actually do it, but now in what I'm finding is I have to do it. I have to do it, really do it, in a theoretical project that I had proposed. So, I mean, I wish I had done something like one of my colleagues said and just build a fence. Why did I go so complicated? But anyway,
Yeah.
it's not like I'm moaning. I do find that it's all I find is I don't mind doing it. It's just the time to get it done. It's impossible.
I understand fully.
That's the challenge that I find, but hopefully I will finish that last section. I mean, I'm talking really working really late hours. And I mean, I had people say they finish this over the weekend. So how the hell did you do that? Clearly, I'm obviously I'm giving too much information. If you could do it in the weekend, I'm working late every day. Excuse my language. I'm working late every day into late hours, and then I might finish. Now I'm happy with that.
All right, Mark, slow down. Are we gonna continue? What time is this session running until?
It's gonna end now, Gareth, and I haven't ordered that part. Maybe what Tabo said now. I think maybe what we do is we must got that group. I think we need to just get together to streamline, because we're not never going to finish what we must finish as a group unless we are all prepared. And I find that's being a challenge for everybody to see that they're prepared, besides the load shedding and the the people are dropping off, and like now I have to go now. Then who are you going to discuss with? You can't really say you didn't.
So what I'll do, Mark, is I'm going to set up a session with a proposal for over the weekend or Friday, and we'll see who wants to join, and we'll take it from there. Right, because I think the weekend might be better.
Now, you see now there again, I'm going to have to drop you. I've got a big celebration coming up. I told my daughters taking the Hippocratic oath, so I am really not going to be able to do anything this weekend. You know what I mean? That's what I'm trying to.
But we'll chat. But we'll chat.
Yes.
We'll chat in the group. Okay.
Okay. No, cool. But like I said, for now, there's not much we can do now, because I need to give this call out. I mean, Ricardo's probably waiting at the store now for his term or for your account, buddy.
Yeah, just to be mindful, we need to complete this activity and the activity thereafter, which was 7, and so that we can try and see how far can we push, which is our last session. If you can spare more time and ask the guys to be more committed, and then we see how far can we go for next week. Because
how many activities do we have in this module?
They're about, if not 13, they're about 11 or 12, something like that. Yeah.
Whoa.
All right.
Okay. Let's just.
Cool. I'll see what we can arrange. And then I'll get back to you, Mark. Yeah, because I'm also swamped and hectic, but we'll get there. We'll figure something out.
Okay, cool, man.
Okay.
Listen, guys.
We'll see each other.
I'm gonna say goodbye now, because I need to also do something. I won't be able to chat after this.
Okay. Goodbye, colleagues. We'll see each other on Wednesday then.
Okay, then.
Cool.
Thank you.
Thank
you so much.
Thanks for the time.
Okay.
Cheers.
Bye-bye.
Okay. Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you. Bye.
Thanks. Bye.